Cool. And we are recording. Hey, everybody. My name is Joan Dizon with Summit Affiliate. I am super, super excited. For this portion of Summit Affiliate, we get to get up close and personal with not just our leaders, but also our members that are actually implementing the training and the modules into their business and into their lives and really seeing some real results. And today I'm so excited. We're going to interview one of the leaders here. He is a mover and a shaker, and you've probably seen him in some of our modules, and I just wanted to show you, behind the scenes, what he has gone through and what he's experienced and how he has achieved the success that he has today. So without further ado, this is David, and I want him to, he's going to share with you guys exactly what he's been through. Maybe you can relate to some of the things that he's saying or to maybe his story. So I want him to come out and just introduce himself. And, how did you start? Where did you start? Tell us, spill it all. Tell us what you know and, where you started from.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. So my name is David Weber, and I teach the mindset section in these courses that you can get here. And I've been working online full time for about 3 years now. And I got started just learning online business October 17th, 2013. A very memorable day for me because it was that simple decision that I made, I made a decision that I was going to work online full time from home, and it was done. I struggled. Actually, let me, before I go into my story, I'll just tell you first of all, I'm a dad, I'm a husband. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm 29 years old, and I went to school for hospitality management. So I got started with 4.5 years of college, and I was doing something for the sake of getting money, for the sake of knowing that I needed to have a job. I needed to work. I needed to provide. I needed to, I was about to live on my own out of college, and I had to work. And I didn't know what I wanted to do to be able to fulfill myself, right? My focus was I needed money. And I was like, well, I've worked in restaurants my whole life. So I got started in that. Was it what I was passionate about? Not at all. No. My idea, my sort of like plan I had was to eventually own a nightclub, a really high-end nightclub, right? So obviously take out massive business loans, make it back. And my plan was to retire at 45 years old because I never believed in having to work and work and work and work for that long. I was like, I'm just going to bust my butt until I'm 45. I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to retire because all I wanted was a lifestyle of freedom. I never saw myself working until I was like 65,
Yeah. So after you went to school and you started, did you start working in hospitality after?
Yeah. So when I got done with college, I was hired at a restaurant and bar that's local near in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. And I worked there for a year, and it was just it was the worst job I've ever had. It was very, very, very bad. And there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this, and they're going to be unfulfilled at their jobs. And that's one of the reasons why they are investing into their education. They're taking it seriously, they're taking action, and they're making that decision, the same decision that I made that pushed me to get started working for myself. Because I got started at that job, and the restaurant and the bar, it closed at 2 a.m. every single night. So if I worked a night shift, I'd work from either 5 or 6 till about 3 a.m. And that's just insane hours. And there's people that are watching this that are probably thinking, like, that's not that bad because they work the graveyard shift. It's like, if you like working the graveyard shift, that's fine. But it wasn't for me. So that was that when I had that first job, only after a year of being in the real world that, my parents would always say, like, oh, get ready for the real world, bills, whatever, work. Like, I was just always like, I don't want to do that. And after a year, I was like, there's no freaking way I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And then 2013, that's when I got started working online.
Nice. Wow. That's crazy. So back then when you were working that night shift, did you have a family, kids,
Yep. So I've been married for less than a year, but I was dating my wife at the time, and we were living in just a very small, like a 1-bedroom apartment with our son. And he was probably 7 at the time. And, one of the other motivating factors for me to get started was that I'd come home from my job and he'd already be asleep. So I wouldn't tuck him into bed. I wouldn't be able to really help him with his homework. I wouldn't have dinner with him. Or when I worked the morning shift for that job, which was like 9 a.m. till 6 p.m., well, I don't bring him to school. I don't see him I'll see him in the morning. And it just cut out that family time, and family is the most important thing to me in my life. So, it was like my time's being taken away, and I'm so stressed out at my job. My boss was a very mean man. He would literally yell at me for stupid things like having my hands in my pockets in front of every single customer in the restaurant. He would yell, and the customers would talk to me and say, "It's okay. Don't worry about him. He was a mean guy." So, I'm getting verbally harassed and missing my family and living in this small, cold apartment. When it's winter, the heating bill was ridiculous. It was just crappy. Like, couldn't hold in the heat. And those are the things that it drove me to making a change in my life. I hope that the people who are watching this, I hope that they're attaching on to that pain. It's okay to like you don't want to like dwell on the pain and be like, oh, poor me. It's okay to realize the pain and to be like, I'm way better than that.
Yeah.
Don't allow yourself to continue doing something with your life, with this precious time you've got in your life that doesn't serve you. That's not what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why so many people are here.
Exactly. I totally feel you. So once you decided that you wanted more freedom in your life, that you wanted to see your family more, that you did not want to work for somebody that was verbally harassing you, and you wanted to work online, how did you searched, of course, you searched online, and, there's a lot of things online now. There's a lot of different companies or choices you can make while coming online. How did you which avenue to go to? How did you know, how did you know where to start?
Well, some people, they don't know where to start, and they don't know, they don't even know that online business is possible for them. And that's one thing when I talk to people, I'm like, you do know you can do this, right? People don't believe that it's possible for them. So I didn't actually say to myself, I want to run an online business. Let's go like Google search how to make money online. That didn't happen to me. One day I came home from work from that job at the restaurant and bar. And this was October 17th, 2013, that I said. And I was sitting on my bed, and I was covered in like flour and pizza sauce because I just got home from work. And it was cold. It was winter. I was on my laptop, and my laptop is cold because it's soaking in all of the coldness. And I'm just like, this is BS. I was fed up. And right then I was on Facebook, minding my own business, just doing random stuff. And I was scrolling through comments on I don't even know what post it was. And this lady was saying like, hey, I make like $200 to $300 per day, and I stay home with my kids and I work online. And normally I would never click on anything like that. It's like, it just seems so random, but I clicked on it and I was like, what is this? And I watched a video that had me realize that I can do this for myself. And it was then, like, I didn't instantly get started, but it was then that I realized that possibility was there for me. And I believed in myself, and I was just like, I don't want to work at my job anymore. I want to be able to be home. I want to have freedom in my life. And these people talking in this video told me it was possible, and I believed them
Right.
because other people were having success. So that's actually how I stumbled across it. And over, I didn't get started because I've never, I don't know, I guess since I've never seen anything like it before, I was slightly skeptical, just like a lot of people are when they first get started. So it took me a few days, and I was like, what if I didn't? It was $25 to get started. I was like, what if I didn't do it? I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. So it was worth the slight risk of maybe losing $25 because I didn't know who these people were online, and I trusted them. And I got started, and boom,
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that when a lot of people start looking for things online, they do get skeptical. And I love how you highlighted that, what if you never try? And it's a very small investment, for you to just see what this is all about, and to see if this is for you or not. So when you started your online business, was it what you expected?
Yes, I had very slight guidance in the beginning. It was nothing like when I got started, I didn't have the trainings, the mentoring, the community that the people in Summit Affiliate has. I had the total opposite. I had somebody who would only work with me under certain terms, and he wasn't helpful. He actually, the company taught to learn online business one way, and he actually taught another way. I was thrown into like this situation where I didn't know which way to follow, and I actually ended up doing things that didn't work at all. And this goes into like a huge part of my story that everybody who's watching this interview, they don't really need to worry about. But I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have the trainings and the mentoring that you have, you owning Summit Affiliate, and I struggled. And let me go back real quickly to when I said I made a decision that I was going to succeed online, and that there was absolutely no way that I was not going to do it. This is what I wanted to do with my life. It was going to happen. I made a decision. I cut off all other possibilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, even though I didn't have the trainings I needed, even though I didn't have the mentoring I needed, I struggled for an entire year, but I finally succeeded. And I worked every day on my online business, on myself, my personal development, blogging, doing other things, but not getting any traction for a year. And I made $0. But like I said, I made a decision that I was going to do it. And then, well, what do you know? I mean, I slowly started building some results because I got myself a mentor. I got somebody who was doing what I wanted to be doing. And I reached out to them, and they were willing to help me. They were willing to give me some trainings that actually worked, which everybody here now has. So you can skip the year of struggle. But so that was my sort of harsh beginnings that like developed me into the person who I am now. And I love telling it because the biggest point that I wanted to make with telling you that is that when you make a decision, it doesn't matter how much you struggle. Like, yes, this is a business. Don't expect to just do step by step by step by step and boom, money comes out of it. No, you need to learn new things. You need to develop yourself. You need to build your skills. You need to use those skills, and you need to, learn from your mistakes and everything like that. Learn from your failures. And I didn't accept any of my failures, even after 6 months or 7 months or 8 months of making $0. I didn't say I'm a failure. I said, I'm doing things that aren't working, and I know that I can do the things that will work. Therefore, let me continue doing what I need to do, change my approach until I start doing the things that work. It's very simple. And that's like the main point that I want to get across to everybody is that when you make a decision, it doesn't matter what happens after that, as long as you continue to move forward and change and like adapt and grow and do new things. Like, don't do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. As long as you do that, like, I believe in every single person's potential. I know that every single person can succeed online. And if you have that mentality, you will succeed.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing that you say that. I think a lot of people, um, including myself, got in online and um, I guess was doing the wrong things and not being patient with myself and not, um, you know, I really got down on myself when something did fail. So,
Mhm.
how do you handle that? How did you handle when something didn't work, or when just things didn't go as expected? How do you handle those situations, especially when you're on, you're just first starting? Um, you know, were you frustrated? What did you do to get yourself out of that frustration?
Yeah, it didn't matter. Like, sure, when I was doing things, I'd get frustrated, but I quickly got over it simply
Mm-hmm.
because my hunger for success was there.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter. I started personal development when I first got started online as well. And I wanted to just become my best self because I know that I need to become a different person in order to do different things, in order to run my online business, in order for people to be willing to listen to me. I had to build myself up. So I started to learn that me being frustrated, even if I did something wrong for an entire year, that does not serve me. Do I want to prolong my struggle and my failure, right? All these things going wrong. Do I want to prolong it by by like staying frustrated and not dealing with it?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I want to get over it? And one of the things that I was just simply able to do was that even if I was getting frustrated and maybe something wasn't working out for me, I eliminated it in my mind, right? We all have control over our emotions and our thoughts. And I changed my thinking to focusing on why I was doing this in the first place and just being hungry for it and knowing that it's going to happen no
Mm-hmm.
matter what's going on in the present moment.
Yeah. That's great. That's really key, I think, to when people are struggling or when things aren't going right. The mindset is definitely key to, I guess, in terms of just getting over it and moving on and remembering your goals, remembering why you're doing this, and to just keep going and to stick with it instead of just you know, sobbing or instead of just giving up, but to remember why you're doing it in the first place and say, hey, it's okay if you fail or if it's okay if you're struggling to just, keep at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything in particular in the very beginning that you struggled with? Was it, um, did you have a technical background or were you computer savvy or what was it in the beginning that you think that you struggled the most with? Was it, getting engagement from new clients or new fans, or was it, trying to create a niche or a brand? What was it in the beginning um, that you kind of had a struggle with or that was more challenging?
Yeah. So, like I said, when I first started, when I didn't have the trainings and stuff, like don't if you don't have trainings, if you're not willing to like invest into your education and like learn new things, don't ever expect to succeed online. So when I first got started online, I was doing things that would have never worked. Never. I was doing stupid things. Okay. I won't even go into it. It would have never worked. So that, I mean, that was like the first struggle I had. But once I got that mentor I was talking to you about and I got some trainings, my first real sort of thing that I had to work on and to be able to do was to get people to me, to get traffic, right? That was basically the first thing that I was able to get traffic, but it wasn't enough, right? So traffic, for the people that don't know, it's people like clicking on your link, going to your blog, your website, going to your sales funnel, your sales page, everything like that.
Mhm.
That was one of the things that I had to uh, just I had to take things up like 5 levels because I just wasn't getting nearly enough traffic that I needed to be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm. How did you, I guess, overcome that? Was it, more being more active on your social media platforms? Was it, purchasing clicks, or was it, how did you overcome it? How did you get more traffic to you?
Yeah, I did a lot of paid advertising. So I was purchasing solo ads. I'd get 500 clicks, and I was doing 500 clicks a week. That gets expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, that's when I was able to start seeing results. And I did Twitter. I did some marketing on Twitter, and I was getting 15 leads a day. For the people that don't know, a lead is somebody who gives you their email. And then, when I would run 500 clicks, I'd get a couple hundred opt-ins, but it's totally different type of traffic that you're getting. And really things changed for me and went up when I got a hold of Justin, who created this entire course. And I started marketing with what he taught me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The trainings in this course with, attracting more clients and attracting more people to you is amazing. I do believe that this course just scales up your business, scales up, the people coming to you. It's absolutely amazing. And of course we've seen David just totally succeed in that. And how did that feel like when you finally discovered, this is the key to your business, this is the key to having people find you and, want to link arms with you? How did that feel when you're just like, this is it, this is how I'm going to succeed, and this is, this is gonna be the norm, me succeeding, and now you're teaching how to do it on our training. So how does that feel to you when it first clicked?
Yeah. So, when you're first learning how to work for yourself online and you're learning everything that goes into it, you're sort of in like a discovery mode of getting these pieces. It's like these gears to come together to work to build the machine that produces money for yourself. And when you're looking for those gears, you're looking on how to make things work properly. Your focus is on a problem, right? But once you have everything together, and that missing piece, for instance, of traffic, that gear was fixed for me, your focus doesn't have to be on fixing a problem anymore or solving something, figuring something out that you have no idea how to proceed with. Instead, your focus is on growth. So obviously, that creates a sense of confidence and optimism, and you realizing that you're set. It's like, finally now I can do this. Things are working. The business is functioning. For the people, if you're just starting online, you'll learn that all of these pieces that we teach you how to put together, they all come together to make this well-oiled machine that runs like all the time. And we're able to get people to our offers. We'll make sales in our sleep. We'll make sales when I'm at the gym. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't even have to be there to make sales. But when, like I said, when it's not together, when one of those gears is missing or not up to speed, the sales aren't there, or they're very, very, they're not common. But once it's together, yeah, it's just, it's a remarkable feeling.
And I just want to go back for people who are just getting started online. How did you deal with, I guess, like, you tell your family or your friends like what you're doing, and you'd have some naysayers, or you'll have some people that will give you negative comments. How do you, and I know that when the people do start online and they tell their friends and their family, and then you don't get the support that you need. So what do you do then? What kind of advice can you give to the people that are just getting started, and they're starting to feel the doubt from their, close friends and family.
Yeah. So I had like both sides of the coin here. When I told my mom and my dad and she was my girlfriend at the time, now wife, when I told them, they're 100% supportive. My family and my wife has always been supportive. They've never doubted me. They knew I could do it. And I think that's because I knew I could do it, but I know, because I've worked with so many people online, I've helped them, I've taught them, they tell me, some of them tell me what's going on with their life. And they say, well, my husband, my wife believes this is a scam, right? They believe that you can't make money online. They don't believe in my ability, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that in my workplace. So, I'll go back to when I quit that. I have to tell a little bit of my story, go back to when I was in that restaurant and bar, because I was so miserable there, I ended up quitting. And I didn't just quit after I started working for myself online. I started learning, at least. I quit just because I was just done. And I was offered a job managing a pizza shop, a franchise pizza shop that everybody knows. So I changed my job to at least have a boss that was like nice and everything. And that's where people started to know that I was working online, and that's where I didn't get support from people. Like my boss at the time, they'd say, you're in a pyramid scheme, or, whatever. They're so ignorant to everything. They're like, yep, you're not going to succeed. Only 98% of people who get started online fail. That's what they're telling me. And they told me that, and they're like, you're not David, you're not going to succeed. And they were saying that to me. And I dealt with it by not caring at all what they said to me. It didn't matter, just like how it didn't matter when I was failing, it didn't matter. I knew I was going to do it. I'll show them, not a big deal. And that was my mentality, though. And I, even if it's different when it's your mom or your dad or somebody else, for sure. But still, to some degree, you can say that's okay if you have that opinion. Hopefully you will become more knowledgeable about what I'm doing and the possibility that I have. And especially since I've got these trainings and I've got this community of people who are succeeding online, who are showing me what they're doing to succeed, right? They're showing you everything. You can put that in front of your spouse or your mom and your dad, and they could start to see, okay, yes, this is possible for them. But even if they don't, just know that like you've got this dream and you've got to make it happen no matter what. And it's the same thing where if you're going to be frustrated with struggling, well, if you're going to be frustrated with people not believing in you, you're just going to set yourself back even further. You're going to prolong you working that job that you want to get out of, and you're not going to be able to replace your income as fast. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to work on yourself, work on your mindset, take control of your thoughts and your emotions, and shift yourself into putting on your blinders and just focusing on what you need to take care of. You can show them in the future that they were wrong. That's fine. You can even use that as motivation if you would like. But that's what I did. I just had blinders on, and it didn't matter what people thought.
Absolutely. That's great. That's really, really great for people to hear, especially the ones that are just starting, that don't maybe not have the support that some other people have, and have those naysayers out there. So that is awesome coming from you, and to know that you've come from a job that you hated, and you decided to work online. You made that decision. It didn't matter how long it took. You went through a mentor, just like we have here in Summit Affiliate. You went through trainings just like what we have here in Summit Affiliate, and you were able to, unlock those keys to your success and to your business and to grow. And now you're teaching exactly how you did that with your mindset, and how you just had to really shift your mind and to, know that you have that power to change your life, to change your business here. So that's you have such an incredible story, and I just thank you so much for letting me interview you here. And I think you can really relate to people that are just starting, and to people that have been in the online business for a while, and to just know your story, and to hear that you can do it, anybody can do it. Like you said, put those blinders on and know that you have the power to take control of your life so that you can live that dream life that you've been wanting, whatever it may be. So again, thank you so much, David, for joining me here. Be sure you check out his mindset modules, his trainings here in Summit Affiliate. So please take advantage of that. And like David said, this community is so helpful, and especially the modules and the trainings in here. Listen to these interviews, listen to the modules over and over again. You never know what you'll learn the second time, the fifth time around you hear the trainings. So thank you again so much, David, for joining me, and we'll see you guys soon. So cheers, everybody here in Summit Affiliate. Bye.
Bye.